Okay, at this time, we'll open it up to questions for Coach Leaman. Joe.
Joe Maloney, College Hockey News. Is experience something that matters at all, or is that something people like me write about to fill space?
I think experience means a lot. It helps a lot with what the guys were talking about, eliminate the distractions. I think these games, even though you have the TV timeouts, these games go fast. And so you have to prepare one shift at a time. You have to be ready one shift at a time. You have to be ready to come out of those TV timeouts jumping. So I think experience means a lot. And I think if you're lucky enough to make it to the second day, I think experience really comes in factor for that second day. Yeah.
Question right here.
Coach, I want to ask those guys, what kind of problems does Harvard possess, and what kind of problems can you give to Harvard that maybe you've seen over the season?
Well, I think I think they have very top end forwards, and I think they have good depth up front. I think they have a very good power play. But we're not going to change too much. I mean, what we do, we feel can be successful. We see a lot of it in our league, top end forwards. I think they, sometimes in our league we see one line. I think they got two lines that can really go. But you're not going to change too much in your team within a week. I mean, there's some minor adjustments we make, but the guys know how we want to manage this game. The guys know how we want to go out and get after it. And I really like what I saw in practice today. So they're chomping. They're ready to go.
More questions? Question over here.
Jeff Cox with SB Nation. Coach, how important is a guy like Wallman or even a Bryson or Young in a game like tomorrow where Harvard obviously is fast and can bring the pace for them to be able to, be a breakout?
Well, I think it's a good question, Jeff. I think that's part of our D-cores is the strength of our team, and the skating in our D-core is the strength of our team. That's what we returned from last year. That was the one area that we lost Parisi and lost Gilmore, but with Spence and Jake Bryson coming in, we thought we were gonna be okay in that area. So hey, we got to get up, we got to gap, we got to take away space, we got to force dumps. Those are things that we can do that we try to do. And I really like the way those D retrieve. And I'll tell you, it's a tough retrieving rink because there's not a lot of room behind the net and things like that. But I like the way that we can retrieve pucks.
More questions for Coach. Nick in the back.
Hey, Coach. Nick Coit, ABC6, Providence. Again, I asked the guys this, but with a different roster this year as opposed to last year, a lot of turnover, especially in the forward group, what's been the most challenging part of getting this team back to the NCAA tournament?
Well, the challenging part was just staying patient through the growth curve, keeping people around us patient. I think the hardest part was that we were preseason ranked, top 10. I don't know what we were, but it was top 10. And I remember walking to lunch with the assistants one day, and they made a good comment. We're not there now, but we definitely can be there. And I think that set the tone for our staff during the season, is that we know that we have the potential to get to this point and beyond this point, but we knew there were going to be some growing pains. We had to be patient. And any team that turns over 10 players is going to have to go through that. So I give this team a lot of credit. I give the seniors a lot of credit. I was reminded this week by Mark Dever that we were one game away from being last place in the league at one point, and the guys did a good job of staying in the process and taking it one game at a time. And I don't think you can give that credit to the coaches. I think you have to give that credit to the seniors, to the guys away from the rink, because our leaders could have easily panicked. Our leaders could have easily, gone off on their own page, and they didn't. They stuck with it. They kept all the guys in the room sticking with it, and we kind of kept improving. We found our game.
Question over here.
Hi, Nate. Gary Santinello, New York Times. You said in a Boston Globe story the other day that Harvard was one of the better Ivy League teams you've seen in the last 20 years, I think it was. Going back to your time at Harvard, what have been some of the other good Ivy teams, and what makes this team so good?
My first year at Harvard was the first year I got paid coaching. I made $12,000, no health insurance. It was, Yale certainly had a great team with Acabello, and they had a really good team there. Dartmouth had a good run there for 3 or 4 years. Grant Lewis and Stepniak, and that was a big, heavy team. And our teams, when I was at Harvard, we went to the tournament, I think, twice, and Cornell certainly had some good teams that have gotten to the Frozen Four. But, you look at this team, it's a little different. I mean, I think there's a little more skill up front. I probably said that at the beginning of the week. I watched a lot of tape on them during the week, So, they're a good, skilled team, and they won their league, and they won the Beanpot. And I think that's there hasn't been an Ivy League team that's won the Beanpot in quite some time either. So,
Kevin?
Hi, Kevin McNamara with the Providence Journal. Nate, I'm curious, looking back a couple of years ago, did playing in this building help you? And do you think it can help this weekend, or is that kind of overrated?
I think it can help because we have a lot of our fans around. I think it can help. It can help build confidence that way. I think all the other aspects are a little overrated. I think the having our fans around will give us confidence. Being able to travel down the street, knowing where we are in town, knowing where the restaurants are, knowing where we walk into, those things are great. They're familiar. But you can also have a lot of distractions at home, and I think the distractions definitely pick up this week with the number of people that are looking for tickets, the number of people that are. So you're trying to get the guys to get those distractions out of the way. But I'll go off on my tangent now. I know a lot of people might be unhappy that we're here, but for NCAA hockey, I think this was the right move. We need this site to go. We need Providence to go. We need the Dunkin Donuts Center and hopefully Brown to keep bidding on the NCAA regional because this is a great site. And I think all the other teams that were here last time, I know they came up to me after when we were down in Florida convention, said what a great site it was. And I know the teams that will be here this weekend are going to have a great experience. And for our sport, we need Providence to go. And we need to continue to have Providence as a regional site because it's a great site. So by the committee putting us here to help attendance, I think it's a good thing for the sport. I know there might be teams that are unhappy and thinking that we get home games. It's not a home game. We don't play our games on this sheet. But in order for our sport to grow, I think it's a great thing.
Question over here.
Obviously, Josh has gotten a lot of the attention up front for freshmen, but what has Brandon and Vimal brought as far as playing a heavy game and getting in on the forecheck and doing those kind of little things that might not show up on the score sheet?
Well, Vimal just scores, 24 games and 8 goals. He gets to the net very well. He knows his timing to get to the net is very good. Dewey's got a great stick, and he can make a lot of plays. He likes to make a lot of plays. He struggled early in the season getting his feet moving. His feet are moving now, and that's just kind of a typical freshman thing. And I think Dewey's going to score a lot. He's just got to get comfortable shooting the puck more, and that's kind of something with a lot of freshmen where they come in and when we recruited Dewey, he was getting 6-7 shots a game in the USHL, and that's one of the great things we liked about him. And then you get to this level, and they stop shooting the puck a little bit, and he'll find his shot and he'll find his confidence in his shot, but he can really score.
Joe?
In the situation you guys were in after losing to Notre Dame in the first round, as a coach, were you watching the games at the Garden last week? What was that weekend like for you?
I went recruiting. I tried not to watch the games. It was, I got home from a game Saturday night when the third period was about ready to start. I didn't watch the game. I tried to read my boys' stories. That's what I did. I went in their room and read them stories. And I came back in my room, and I think there's like 2 minutes to go in the game, and my wife flipped the game on, and BC scored. And I said, turn it off right away, And then I just kind of went downstairs, and she came downstairs and let me know that Lowell won, so that was good. I didn't want to see it. It's another distraction. It's just emotional energy that you're going to use on something that you don't control, and it stinks being in that situation. We've been in that situation a couple times now, but it's tough to get into this tournament. You have to earn your way into this tournament, and with our second half, we earned our way in this tournament. With our non-conference play, we earned our way in the tournament, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that with this team. This was supposed to be a rebuilding year. This was supposed to be a year that maybe we didn't get to this point. That our seniors and our leaders led us to this point.
Good time for one or two more questions, all the way in the back.
Hi, Coach. Nick Rojas, Providence College. Been to the tournament 4 straight years. You know that every team is different. What have you liked the most about this team?
They're a fun team to come to the rink with every day because young. I mean, when you get a young team, they're really fun to come, and it's fun to see their growth curve. They're fun to be around every day. When they're this young, also there's times where they've never been pushed as hard as this hard because we had to make a big push in the second half, and I like how they handled it. It was I really like this team. I know we all want to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward right now.
Question over here, Gary.
Picking up on what you said a little earlier on good for hockey, you finished up a home and home with Holy Cross this year. You went out to RIT for 2 games.
Yeah.
Air Force is here with a 12 seed. Have you noticed, Atlantic hockey raising its profile among the other conferences?
Well, it was the first time I think in the history of their league that they didn't have the worst non-conference record of all the other leagues. I think it's a great step for the league. I think AIC playing in a different building. I think Sacred Heart playing in a different building. I think Holy Cross moving some of their games to Worcester. All that is great for college hockey. To see those programs that have had to struggle for a little bit starting to take the baby steps to get better and better is great for college hockey. So I do see a lot of growth in that league. I know Air Force is going to be a really tough out. I know how well coached they are, and I think it's awesome. I mean, we're going down. We agreed to go down to Sacred Heart in 2 years. Their coach called, and I have no problem, going on the road because I think we need to make sure that we're taking care of the 60 teams that are college hockey right now.
Okay. Thank you very much.